The knife trembled in Mama Ngozie's hand as she raised it above the chicken. The pot boiled hard behind her, steam rising into the kitchen air. Mercy stood beside her stepmother, gripping the chicken's legs as instructed, but something was wrong. Very wrong. The chicken had stopped struggling. It was staring directly at Mercy now, and in those eyes, those impossibly human eyes, she saw something that made her blood run cold. Recognition. "Hold it tight," Mama Ngozi snapped, her voice sharp with urgency. But Mercy couldn't move. She was frozen, staring into the chicken's face, seeing something she couldn't possibly be seeing. The way it looked at her, the way its head tilted, the desperate, pleading expression that no chicken should ever have. Mama! Mercy whispered, her voice shaking.
This chicken, why does it look at me like...
Like what? Mama Ngozie's hand tightened on the knife handle. Mercy's throat went dry.
Like Papa.
Like Papa. The knife clattered to the floor. For one terrible moment, neither of them moved. The chicken made a sound, low, broken, almost like a human groan. Mama Ngozie's face had gone completely white.
What did you say?
Her stepmother's voice was barely audible. But before Mercy could answer, the chicken did something impossible. It opened its beak and made a sound that was unmistakably a word. Broken, distorted, but clear enough.
Mercy.
Mercy screamed and dropped the chicken. It hit the floor with a thud and immediately scrambled toward her, not running away but running to her, pressing against her legs, making those horrible, half-human sounds. Mama Ngozi backed away from both of them, her eyes wide with terror.
No,
this can't be happening.
Not yet, not now.
Not yet.
What did you do?
Not now.
What did you do to my father?
What did you do? Mercy's voice rose to a shriek.
What did you do to my father?
But Mama Ngozi was already running, fleeing from the kitchen, her footsteps pounding through the house and out into the compound. Mercy sank to her knees beside the chicken, her whole body shaking. Papa? Is that really you? The chicken, her father, pressed against her and began to cry. Actual tears rolled down its feathered face as it made broken, agonized sounds. And that's when Mercy knew. Her stepmother had done something terrible, something evil. 48 hours earlier, everything had been different. Christmas Eve had filled the house with warmth and light. Papa Chidi couldn't stop talking about his plans for the next day. "Tomorrow we feast," he declared, laughing as he adjusted the Christmas decorations. "I don't care if the whole village shows up at our door. Everyone will eat. Everyone will celebrate." Mercy was helping him hang lanterns in the living room. "Papa, you're going to give away everything we have." "So what? Money comes and goes. But joy? Joy shared is joy multiplied." He pulled her into a hug. "Your mother, God rest her soul, she taught me that." Across the room, Mama Ngozi sat quietly, mending clothes. She'd been Papa Chidi's wife for 2 years now. She smiled when Papa Chidi looked her way, but Mercy noticed the smile never quite reached her eyes. Later that night, Mercy woke up thirsty. As she made her way to the kitchen for water, she heard voices coming from her father's bedroom. "We need to save. We need to think about the future," Mama Ngozi was saying. "I am thinking about the future, Mercy's future. I've saved money for her university, 4 years of schooling. That's secured. But what about us? What about our needs? We have everything we need, Ngozi. Security. What happens when you give everything away and there's nothing left? There's always enough. God provides." Mercy heard her stepmother make a frustrated sound. She quickly grabbed her water and hurried back to her room. What Mercy didn't know was what happened after she left. Mama Ngozi waited until Papa Chidi was asleep, then slipped out of bed. Her hands were shaking as she retrieved a small bundle from her hidden box, a bundle she'd gotten just 2 weeks ago from Mama Ogechi, the village woman who dealt in charms. In the dark kitchen, she unwrapped the red cloth. Inside was a small vial of black liquid and a paper with strange symbols. She opened Papa Chidi's bottle of palm wine, the one he'd bought for Christmas morning. The liquid poured out like oil, dark and thick. She watched it swirl into the wine, then picked up the paper. The words came to her lips easily, once, twice, 3 times. Each time, the air grew colder. When it was done, she corked the bottle and put it back exactly where it had been. "By morning," she whispered, "you'll be gone, and all that money will finally be mine." Christmas morning came bright and early. Mercy woke up to an empty house. She searched every room, calling for her father, but he was nowhere to be found. "Papa? Papa, where are you?" She found Mama Ngozi in the kitchen, calmly preparing breakfast. Good morning, Mercy. Merry Christmas. Where's Papa? Oh, he left very early, before dawn. Emergency in the next village. You know your father, always running off to help others. But it's Christmas morning. Plans change, dear. He'll be back this evening. But Mercy knew something was wrong. Her father wouldn't leave on Christmas morning, not without saying goodbye. She went outside. The morning sun was warm, and a few chickens were pecking around the yard. One rooster in particular caught her attention. It was walking strangely, almost like it was dizzy. As Mercy watched, the rooster turned to look directly at her. And in that moment, something passed between them. A connection. The rooster took a stumbling step toward her. She shook her head. No, she was being ridiculous. It was just a chicken. But the rooster kept following her all day. Everywhere she went, it was there, watching her, making strange sounds that seemed almost like words. By late afternoon, when Papa Chidi still hadn't returned, Mercy was genuinely frightened. She tried calling his phone. It went straight to voicemail. She asked neighbors. No one had seen him. That night she couldn't sleep. And outside her window, she could hear that rooster crowing. Not a normal crow, but a desperate, almost human sound. Finally, she couldn't take it anymore. She got up and went outside. The rooster was there, waiting. The moment it saw her, it began running toward the road, then back to her, then toward the road again. "What do you want?" Mercy whispered. The rooster tilted its head and looked at her with those two intelligent eyes. Then it began walking down the road, looking back to make sure she was following. Something made Mercy follow. The rooster led her through the sleeping village, all the way to the old baobab tree at the edge of town. There, scattered on the ground, was evidence of something dark, red cloth, black thread, and a piece of paper covered in strange symbols. Mercy's hands shook as she picked up the cloth. She recognized it. It was from Mum Ngosi's private box. The rooster made a sound like a sob. When Mercy looked at it, she saw something impossible. The rooster was crying. "No," Mercy breathed. "No, it can't be." "Papa!" The rooster collapsed at her feet, trembling. It pressed against her legs and made sounds that were unmistakably human crying trapped in a chicken's throat. Mercy sank to the ground beside it. "Oh, God, what did she do to you?" She sat there, holding her father, crying into his feathers. Finally, she wiped her tears and stood up. "I'm going to fix this. I don't know how, but I'm going to fix this." She carried the rooster to her grandmother's place, Mama Adana, who lived 3 compounds away. She pounded on the door until the old woman answered. "Mercy, child, it's the middle of the night. Grandma, please, I need your help. Something terrible has happened." Mama Adana took one look at Mercy's face, then at the rooster, and her expression changed. "Come inside, quickly." In the safety of her grandmother's house, Mercy poured out the entire story. "And Grandma," Mercy whispered, "this chicken cries. It tries to talk. It looks at me like Papa used to look at me." Mama Adana examined the rooster carefully. She looked into its eyes for a long moment, and the rooster looked back, making soft, pleading sounds. "Oh, Chidi," the old woman whispered, "what did that wicked woman do to you?" "Then it's true? This is really my father?" "Yes, child. Your stepmother cursed him. I saw her 2 weeks ago, sneaking to Mama Ogechi's house. That woman deals in dark magic. I should have warned your father then. Can you reverse it? Can you turn him back?" The old woman was quiet for a moment. "The curse has rules, and she broke them." "What do you mean? She cursed an innocent man. That kind of magic. It bounces back." "So he'll become human again? When the truth comes out, in front of witnesses, when she confesses, the magic will reverse itself. And what happens to her?" Mama Adana's eyes were sad. "She will become what she made him." Mercy felt a chill. "She'll become a chicken?" "Yes." "Good," Mercy said, surprised by the hardness in her own voice. "That's exactly what she deserves." They made a plan. Mama Adana would gather witnesses, church elders, neighbors, and Mercy would force the confrontation. "It has to be her trying to kill the chicken," Mama Adana explained. "When she can't harm him, when people see something supernatural is happening, that's when you confront her." Mercy nodded. "Tomorrow, then." That night, Mercy slept with the rooster beside her bed. She could feel it trembling even in sleep. "It's okay, Papa," she whispered. "Tomorrow, I'm going to bring you back. I promise." The next morning, Mercy found Mum Ngozi in the kitchen. "Where have you been?" Her stepmother's voice was sharp. "You were gone all night. I was at Grandma's house, Mercy said calmly, with this chicken. Mum Ngozie's eyes fixed on the rooster, and fear flickered across her face. Why are you still carrying that filthy bird around? Because it's not just a bird. Is it, Mama? I don't know what you're talking about. I think you do. Mercy met her stepmother's eyes steadily. But you know what? You're right. It is just a chicken. So let's cook it. Mum Ngozie's eyes widened. What? Let's cook it today. Since Papa still hasn't come back, we should invite some neighbours too. Make it special. She saw the calculation in Mum Ngozie's eyes. If the chicken was dead, there would be no evidence. Yes, Mum Ngozie said slowly. That's a good idea. I'll prepare the kitchen. You go invite the neighbours. Mercy nodded and left, but she went straight to the people Mama Adana had already spoken to. The pastor's wife, church elders, respected neighbours, and Mama Adana herself. Come to our house in 1 hour, she told each of them. I need you there as witnesses. Within the hour a small crowd had gathered. Mum Ngozie looked surprised by the number of people, but she kept her composure. Welcome, everyone, she said, forcing a smile. We're going to prepare a special meal today. She led everyone into the kitchen, where the pot was already boiling and the knife lay ready. Mercy, bring the chicken here. This was it. Mercy carried the rooster forward. It was shaking, but didn't struggle. Hold its legs, Mum Ngozie instructed, reaching for the knife. Mercy gripped the chicken's legs. She looked into its eyes, her father's eyes, and whispered, I love you, Papa. This will all be over soon. The rooster made a soft sound that might have been, I love you too. Several people gasped. Did that chicken just try to talk? Mum Ngozie ignored them. She raised the knife high. The knife came down fast and stopped. Mum Ngozie's hand froze in mid-air, as if she'd hit an invisible wall. The blade hung there, trembling, inches from the rooster's neck. She pushed harder, but the knife wouldn't move. What? She grunted. The knife clattered from her hand. The crowd pressed closer, murmuring. The knife slipped, Mum Ngozie said quickly, bending to retrieve it. Let me try again. She raised it once more. This time her entire hand began shaking violently. The knife slipped again. What's wrong with you? One of the elders asked. Can you not kill a simple chicken? There's nothing wrong with me. It's just the knife is... Use your hands then, Mercy said coldly. Mum Ngozie's eyes met Mercy's. In that moment she knew. She knew that Mercy knew. But she was trapped, surrounded by witnesses. She reached for the rooster's neck with trembling hands. The moment her fingers touched the feathers, she screamed. She jerked back as if burned. It burned me! The chicken burned me! How can a chicken burn you? The pastor's wife demanded. What's really going on here? And then the rooster did something that made everyone freeze. It stood up on the counter, spread its wings wide, and screamed. Not crowed. Screamed. A human scream came from that chicken's throat, a man's voice full of agony. Mercy, help me! Women shrieked. Men jumped back. The entire crowd erupted into chaos. That's not a chicken, someone yelled. Mama Adana's voice cut through. That's Papa Chidi, and she cursed him. All eyes turned to Mum Ngozie, who had backed against the wall. No, she whispered. No, that's not. That's impossible. Is it? Mercy pulled the red cloth from her pocket. I found this under the baobab tree. This is from your box, Mama. And this... She held up the paper. This is the curse you used, isn't it? I don't know what you're talking about. My grandmother saw you. She saw you go to Mama Ojechi's house 2 weeks ago. That's a lie. Then explain this. Mercy gestured at the rooster. Explain why you can't kill it. Explain why it speaks. Explain where my father has been since Christmas morning. The rooster on the counter turned to look directly at Mum Ngozie. Its beak opened, and Papa Chidi's voice came out broken but clear. Why? Did you do this? To me? Mum Ngozie slid down the wall until she was sitting on the floor, shaking. Say it, Mama Adana commanded. Before God and all these witnesses, say what you did. I didn't mean... Mum Ngozie's voice cracked. I didn't mean for it to go this far. Say it, Mercy shouted. Tell everyone what you did. And Mum Ngozie broke. I cursed him, she screamed. I poisoned his wine on Christmas Eve. I turned him into a chicken because he was going to give everything away. All the money for Mercy's school, all our savings. He was going to waste it all, and I couldn't let that happen. I needed that money. So yes, I cursed him. I turned him into a chicken so I could have what should have been mine. The confession hung in the air. Then the rooster began to glow. Brilliant white light poured from its body, so bright everyone had to shield their eyes. Inside the light, the rooster's shape began to change. It grew larger, feathers melted away, wings stretched and became arms, legs extended, the beak softened into a human face. The light faded, and Papa Chidi stood there, naked and gasping, fully human again. For one moment, everyone was frozen. Then Mercy ran forward, and Papa Chidi caught her in his arms, both of them crying. Someone threw a cloth over him. "Papa," Mercy sobbed. "Papa, you're back." "I'm here, baby girl." Papa Chidi's voice was hoarse. "I'm here." But across the kitchen, something else was happening. Mama Ngozi was screaming. Her screams turned to squawks. Her body began to convulse, shrinking. Brown feathers erupted from her skin, her arms compressed into wings, her legs thinned into talons, her face pushed forward into a beak. "No!" she tried to scream, but the word came out as a harsh cluck. "Please! I'm sorry." But the transformation continued. Within seconds, where Mama Ngozi had been sitting, there was now a fat brown hen, flapping frantically, clucking in terror. "The curse reversed," Mama Adana said quietly. Papa Chidi, still holding Mercy, stared at the hen that had been his wife. "Ngozi?" The hen looked up at him with terrified eyes, human eyes trapped in a chicken's face. It opened its beak and made a sound that might have been a plea, but only clucks came out. Then, driven by panic, the hen bolted. It shot across the kitchen floor between people's legs, heading for the door. The crowd parted. The hen burst out into the compound, running frantically toward the bushes. "Should we catch it?" someone asked. Papa Chidi shook his head. "No. Let her go." She made her choice. They all watched as the hen reached the bushes and plunged into them, disappearing into the undergrowth. For a moment they could hear frantic clucking. Then there was only silence. The hen was gone, lost in the wilderness. Papa Chidi held Mercy close and looked around at all the witnesses. "Thank you," he said simply. "Thank you all." People began to leave slowly, still talking in amazed tones about what they'd witnessed. When everyone was gone except Mama Adana, the old woman approached them. "She'll never be human again," Mama Adana said quietly. "The curse is permanent once it reverses." Papa Chidi nodded. "That's justice, I suppose." After she left, Papa Chidi and Mercy sat together in the now quiet kitchen. "Papa," Mercy said softly, "we still have all those Christmas groceries. Should we still have the celebration?" Papa Chidi thought about this. Then he smiled, a tired smile but genuine. "Yes, tomorrow. We'll invite everyone and we'll celebrate being alive, being together, being free. But, Papa? Yes, we're getting rid of all the chickens, every single one." Papa Chidi pulled her close. "And we're never eating chicken again in this house." Mercy nodded. "Never again, Papa. Never again." The end. If you enjoy African folk tales like this, please subscribe now so you do not miss the next story.